For most of her life, Lyra had dismissed the sketches as the fading fragments of an old woman's imagination. Her grandmother, Dr. Ileana Voss, a once brilliant astrophysicist turned eccentric recluse, had spent her final decades sketching the same ship over and over again: spiral hull, crescent wings, a pulsing blue core that seemed alive even in ink. It was beautiful and alien, always paired with whispered warnings. Find the seraphim before the silence does. Lyra used to think the silence was just code for dementia, but now, standing on the edge of the Valles Marineris dig site on Mars, Lyra stared down into the chasm, heart thundering in her chest. The excavation drones had just unearthed the chamber sealed beneath layers of hardened regolith, and within it, the impossible, a ship. The ship dotted was exactly like her grandmother's drawings. Not similar. Identical dot her team hadn't believed her when she submitted the A-enhanced image match. Most still didn't, but Lyra was a lead now, and she had override codes. She descended into the chamber herself. As the decompression locks hissed open, a wave of still air greeted her. Dust hung suspended like ash in zero-G. Lights on her suit flickered as they scanned the interior white walls, laced with iridescent veins of unknown metal, smooth but humming softly beneath her boots. And in the center, suspended slightly above a crystalline dais, was the ship dotted. Looked asleep. Her grandmother had drawn it hundreds of times from every angle. But in person, it was larger, more graceful, and terrifying in its symmetry. Like something that had not just been made, but designed by minds older than stars. She reached out, trembling fingers brushing against its hull. The surface was warm. Too warm. Suddenly, her HUD flickered. An unreadable script rippled across her visor. Then Ileana Voss, genetic signature recognized, lineage detected, activation accepted. Lyra stumbled back. What the hell? The ship lit up. Blue veins pulsed along its sides, spreading like fire under skin. The dais retracted. The vessel gently descended onto the platform as gravity inside the chamber subtly shifted. Lyra's cums crackled, then died. A voice spoke not through her earpiece, but in her mind. Ancient, layered, synthetic, but kind. You are the blood of the Watcher, the keeper of the beacon, the last key. I don't understand, she whispered. The voice paused, as if weighing her soul. You are not meant to. Yet, but your world is dying, and the silence is near. Hours later, in the privacy of her Martian lab, Lyra replayed the data from the moment the ship awoke. The readings didn't make sense. The material was beyond element 218, completely off the periodic table. Energy outputs fluctuated between quantum states, and worst of all, the ship had moved. Slightly, but enough. Then the real discovery came. In the center of the vessel was a chamber, and within it a stasis pod. A human woman inside. It was her grandmother. Not a corpse. Not a hologram. Alive. Young. UNAGED. Lyra's knees gave out when the biometric readings came in. No decay. No signs of natural aging. Just a perfect, cryogenically suspended Dr. Ileana Voss, her grandmother, who had gone missing 30 years ago during her final Mars mission. But Lyra remembered the funeral, the closed casket, the photos, the cremation. The truth shattered her like glass. Her grandmother hadn't died. She'd left. When? Ileana finally opened her eyes, still glowing faintly from neural overlays. Her first words were not surprise or apology. They were, you found the seraphim. That means it's almost here. Lyra leaned in, trembling. What's almost here? Ileana sat up slowly, brushing her white hair from her eyes. The silence. The reason I never came home. The reason we built this ship. Her grandmother turned to the ship, placing a hand on its side with a tenderness that was almost maternal. Humans didn't build this, but we were chosen to guard it, to keep it hidden. Our minds aren't ready to understand it yet, but our instincts are. The Seraphim isn't just a ship. It's a weapon. a seed, a memory of the ones who came before us. Lyra stepped back, her voice barely a whisper. Why now? Because the silence is waking, and Earth won't survive without remembering who she really is. 2 weeks later, the Seraphim lifted from Mars' surface, piloted by a grandmother-granddaughter pair bound by blood, memory, and mission. The Galactic Council watched in horror as the human transmission pierced the veil of silence. This is humanity. We have found the key. The silence is not the end. We are the memory of fire, and we are coming back. And in the black reaches of space, something old stirred.